My friends at Easy Cater are workplace catering pros, helping you find food for everything from daily employee meals to staff meetings and special events. Visit easycater.com/leaderassistant to find out more.
Hi, my name is Erin Sizer, and today's leadership quote is from Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less.
The Leader Assistant podcast exists to encourage and challenge assistants to become confident, game-changing leader assistants.
The Leader Assistant podcast is brought to you by Goody. If you send business gifts to employees, clients, or sales prospects, Goody is a game changer. You can send one gift or hundreds at a time without ever worrying about shipping details. With Goody, your gift recipients provide all their shipping info, and they can even swap out your gift for another option if they prefer. It's free to start gifting, and you can get a $20 credit when you sign up. Oh, and if you mention you heard about Goody from the Leader Assistant podcast, Goody will add an extra $10 credit to your account. So go to leaderassistant.com/Goody, that's GOODY, to start gifting today. Again, that's leaderassistant.com/Goody. Hey friends, thanks for tuning in to the Leader Assistant podcast. It's your host, Jeremy Burrows, and today I'm excited to be speaking with Erin Sizer. Erin, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Jeremy?
I am doing well. What part of the world are you in?
I live in Boston, Massachusetts.
Nice. And are you from that area?
I am, although I was born here in Boston, and we lived here till I was in junior high. And then we moved to Ohio, where my parents were from. And about 10 years ago, I came back here.
Awesome. So do you like the cold winter in Boston, or do you prefer what season? What season do you like?
Well, fall is my favorite season. I like winter, but I'm not a fan of the wind chill that says, oh, it feels like -10. So that's what we've had recently. I'm not a big fan of that. But, if you live in the Northeast, you're going to have winter.
Right. Yeah, I think it was, we had about 6 inches of snow here in Kansas City, Missouri today. And it was, feels like 6 degrees, I think. So
yeah,
I stayed inside.
Yeah, it's so cold. Yeah, we got about 30 or 32 inches a few weeks ago. Some of it is still hanging around.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought 6 inches was a lot. Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the show. Let's jump right in. Why don't you tell us about your very first job, and then kind of go into how you became an assistant?
Okay. Well, other than, so when I was in high school, we had a farm and we had some animals. So other than taking care of the animals as an unpaid job for my parents, my very first paying job was at a drive-in movie theater, and I loved it. It was great. So I was the ticket taker. And then when we got past a certain period, in the movie, maybe like the first half an hour or something, then I would go back and help in the concession stand. But I really loved that job. It was so fun. The people were so nice. And I learned a lot from that about, just being friendly with people. I'm an introvert, and that doesn't always come easily to me, but I learned the importance of, good customer service, because I think every role has some customer service in it, whether it's external customers, internal customers, your coworkers. So that was my first paying job. That was awesome, and I really liked it. How I got to be an assistant was my first job out of college. I found a role as an office manager / receptionist / do anything and everything at a small ad agency. And I really enjoyed it. And it really sort of played to my strengths. I learned a lot. I got to be involved in a lot of different aspects of the business and see how everything worked. And the executives I worked with were really, were very nice, were very helpful, were, ready to have somebody sort of learn and grow. And it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. And from there, I just kept sort of finding admin roles, not because I thought, oh, this is my career. I just always really liked them. So, and I like doing a lot of different things and being involved in a lot of different ways. And the jobs that I have found have let me do that. So now 20 some years later, I guess it's my career.
Awesome. Well, I have to ask what type of animals were on the farm?
We had pigs, horses, cows. We had chickens for a while. Not my favorite. They really don't smell very good. We had dogs and cats. So
Nice.
those are the animals. Yep.
Awesome. I have some friends that have a farm. They have in Illinois, and they have a couple horses, bunch of chickens, ducks on their pond.
Oh, nice.
And then they have a couple of cows. But we got the farm set for them.
Oh,
A
that's
few years
fun.
in a row, and it was when the kids were younger, and it was
Yeah.
a blast to pretend like I
Yes.
was a country
Yeah,
guy.
gentleman farmer, right? Yeah, you were
Yeah.
a gentleman farmer. Very nice.
Awesome. Well, so you've been an assistant for 20 years or so. Let's jump right into the fun stuff. What was the biggest mistake you've made as an assistant, and what did you learn from the experience?
All right. Well, I've made numerous mistakes. However, the one that always sticks in my mind was from a few roles ago, and I was working at a small pharmaceutical drug discovery company, and I was working with the CSO, the Chief Scientific Officer, and older guy, really nice, brilliant, but technology was not really his thing, and he really needed a new laptop. His laptop was just it barely had any memory left. It ran very slowly. He couldn't always rely on it to power up. And he and the CEO were going and doing what I call dog and pony shows to raise money. So they would go to New York City and they would go around to several venture capital firms and do presentations. And I could tell he was stressed about thinking his laptop wasn't going to be able to show his PowerPoint slides. And yet, on the other hand, he was really resistant to getting a new laptop. And so we had a person who was helping us with IT. And I took it upon myself because, of course, I knew exactly what my CSO needed to tell the IT guy to just get him a new laptop and just transfer all the files from his old one to his new one. Well, my CSO, he wasn't very happy with me. And so we talked about it. And I realized that I had really kind of hurt his feelings, which I felt terrible about because he's just a very, very nice person. And I realized that we can't always move the speed I want to move at, that I really needed to take into consideration his comfort level or lack of comfort with getting a new laptop. And so it just made me realize that, even though I know he needed a new one, I needed to slow down a bit and find out more about why he was reluctant to get a new one and what the issues were, and then work on helping him within his comfort level. So that was the biggest thing I learned. So we worked it all out and it was fine. But I felt really bad for kind of pushing him faster than he wanted to be pushed. So.
Yeah. So I've kind of experienced that before where I'm like, I just want to get the task done and I don't consider the ramifications.
Right.
So yeah, that's a good lesson learned.
Yes.
So, okay. So let's see. Do you have a hobby?
I would say, I've had various hobbies over the years. I'd say my latest ones are CrossFit. And I don't know that I would call that a hobby, but I really like it. CrossFit. And I haven't I like to run, and I used to run a lot of half marathons. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm thinking of doing another one. I would say, those are pretty much my hobbies at the moment.
Nice. Running is definitely one of my least favorite things to do. Props to you for that.
Yeah.
So, all right, there's a lot of assistants listening, and if you had the superpower of being able to snap your fingers and instantly give all the assistants listening more of blank, what would that be?
Well, I think like many of your podcast guests, I would say confidence. And I mean that sort of, we can feel confident, but I think a lot of us don't sort of feel it in the core of our being. And if I could snap my fingers, I would give them all confidence that just permeates their entire being, and they just know it. So they know it intellectually, and they know it sort of physically in their body. It's just part of them.
How have you grown your confidence, or what has helped you be more confident?
Well, a big part of it has been being part of the leader assistant community, and, having the monthly, coaching calls that the group has with you and Al Hussein and members leading some of those, and all the great topics, and just being part of the community, and all the great assistants around the world who are part of it, and asking questions, helping each other, giving each other kudos, and, helping us see the forest for the trees. That's helped me a lot. I mean, when I was talking about, feeling confident in your being, I mean, I've always thought of myself as a confident person, but I surely didn't feel like that a lot of the time. So I feel much more like it's part of my being now than I did before. So, nice. And leader assistant community is a huge part of that for me.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely excited to dive into that a little bit more, but you mentioned kind of assistants all over the world. Networking is a big part of the community, obviously, and then can help with confidence. How have you, or what tips do you have for networking with other assistants?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the best person to ask that question. Because I don't think I'm very good at that, but being part of, leader assistant community, there's a local admin group that's on Facebook here in Boston. That's been helpful. I think just, finding communities that speak to your interests, or, whether it's personally or professionally, and being part of those. I mean, so many of those are online now, especially, because of the pandemic. That just makes it easier. If you're not feeling like, oh, hey, I want to go and hang out with a bunch of people, you can just do it virtually online, and still get the benefit from it. So for me, I'm not one of those people who before the pandemic would have gone to like a big networking event and, passed my cards out. I don't have cards anyway, but I wouldn't have done that and, tried to see how many people I could talk to. That's just not my thing. But I do like being part of communities of like-minded people who are looking to support one another and help one another, and, beef up their skills personally and professionally. For me, that's super helpful.
Yeah. So when you joined the community, you mentioned you're an introvert. I'm an introvert as well. Introverts unite.
Yes.
So when you joined, like how did you try and, I don't know, be
more part of the community?
Yeah. Participate more and do more than just be a fly on the wall during our coaching sessions and in the online circle community through the Leader Assistant? How did you kind of push yourself to put yourself out there?
I not so much with the monthly coaching calls, although I have gotten better at that because there's always people with really cool opinions and ideas and stuff like that. So I'm much more interested in listening on those. However, when I log in every day and see what's going on in the community, if somebody's asked a question and I have some experience with that, or I think I might have some, I don't know if wisdom is the right word, but some experience or some knowledge to share, I make sure that I comment or, give somebody a high five if they've posted that they had a really great day at work or something really awesome happened, or, comment on their really cute pets. I love the pet channel that we have on there. I love seeing people's pets. So I push myself to comment if I feel like I could be helpful. And that doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but for me, it can be. It can be a big deal because you put something out there, you're like, oh, is that going to sound stupid? But then you have to realize, no, of course it's not, because people have asked for help and they want to know what you think. And if I post something, I want to know what people think. I want their help. So I'm never going to look at somebody's comment. Like I wouldn't ever look at someone's comment and think, oh gosh, why did they say that? I'm like, that's awesome. I'm so glad that they put that in there. That's so helpful. Mm-hmm. So I have to try to, be confident and apply the same rules to myself and not be, not downgrade my contribution. But that's how I try to network and sort of get to know people and find out more about them through commenting and posting in the community.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, it's tough because, a lot of us, everyone's in a different phase and everyone's in a different stage of their career. And some of our members, they join and they watch the replays. They don't come to the live calls.
Yeah.
They may not post in Circle very much or if ever, but I still hear from them and they say, this session was amazing. I'm so glad I watched the replay, so we try to be available for people who are like, oh, I'm all in and I want to be on every live call and I want to talk a bunch and I want to be like engaged and, versus, people that are like, oh, I just want to watch the replays for now and see how it goes. It's nice to have a diverse subset of people. So,
yeah. I think that's a great thing about the community is whatever your level of comfort is with interaction, there's something for you. So it's great. I know we had the book club thing recently and I was so sorry I missed doing that live, but my gosh, the book was fantastic and I really enjoyed reading it. And it was so, so helpful to me. And I have not watched the replay yet, but I'm going to.
Nice. Yeah. So what's a resource that you would recommend to assistants?
Well, I would recommend the Leader Assistant community for sure. And actually, I have a new colleague who just joined. We have an office in Germany, and I'm going to let him know about that. And he's a guy, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let him know about the community. I would say Leader Assistant community. Any of the awesome books out there, like your book. The first book I think I read was by Jan Jones, the CEO's Secret Weapon. Maggie's book is really great. I'm trying to think any other ones I've read. Those are my top three, I think. For, if you want to read and take notes and learn that way, but certainly for daily interaction, the Leader Assistant community is amazing. And, like I said, there's people all over the world and people are in different industries. They work with, their companies are small, their companies are big. They work in a department. They have a bunch of other, assistants they work with, or they're the only one. So there's a real diversity of experience across the community, which is really great.
Yeah. So for those listening, we have a Leader Assistant global community online, and you can find out more at leaderassistant.com/community. But then so we have like a job market space. We have an Ask ask for help space. We do weekly Zoom chats on Wednesdays. But then we also have kind of the next level, if you will, where we have a premium paid membership where we do group coaching sessions once a month. And then we have discounts to our online or in-person events. A lot of our online events are included in the membership or heavily discounted. And then we have discounts on some of the online courses available. We're actually planning on moving a couple of the courses that we do have discounts to. We're planning on just merging them into the membership completely here in the near future. But the paid premium membership, Erin has been a part of for a while now. One of the original members, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Erin. But the exciting thing about it is, like Erin said, we try to put the resources out there so that they're more on demand, so that you can kind of soak them in as time permits and with your schedule. But then we also have the live commenting on the forum on a platform called Circle that we use. But then we have the monthly Zoom coaching calls where we all kind of hop on a Saturday morning sometimes, and we are going to do some in the weekday evenings as well. But anyway, that's just to give people listening context. That's what we're talking about when we say the Leader Assistant community and premium membership. The membership, you can find out more information about that at leaderassistant.com/membership. Erin, how has being a member helped you grow personally and professionally?
Well, it's helped a lot. I mean, the bedrock has been, just bolstering my confidence and, again, just really sort of knowing it intellectually and, just as part of my being now, which is really amazing. I've always struggled with confidence and feeling like I was doing enough. And so that's helped me a lot. It's been great to be able to share my knowledge and experience with other assistants and, other assistants around the world looking for help or whatever, just have a question and want to know what somebody else may have done. It's nice to help people. And I think that's why I like being an assistant too. I see it as helping my executive, helping my coworkers, helping, people in my company. And professionally, it's given me a lot of data sort of from the other side of things, sort of like insider data is what I think of it as. You and Al Hussein have a lot of, industry knowledge that I'm sure we could probably find somewhere, but gosh, it would be really hard to dig it up. And it's nice to have your perspectives on how things sort of look from the other side, especially Al Hussein being in HR. So that really helped me a lot, especially in the middle of last year when I decided it was time for me to find a new role. As much as I really enjoyed where I was working at the time and the people I worked with, our company had been acquired twice and my role went from quite large to very small. And I tried to wait it out and see if it was going to get better. And about 15 months later, I decided, no, it wasn't going to get better. And it was a really difficult decision, but, armed with all I had learned from, the monthly coaching calls and the other workshops I had been part of and, one-on-one coaching calls with you, I felt really confident in what I was looking for in a new role because I didn't want it to just be another job. I wanted it to be something really special. So I was really specific about,
picky.
I was extremely picky. So I contacted a recruiter I had worked with before, and I gave him the criteria of what I was looking for, the industry. I like biotech a lot. Boston's a great place for biotech, hundreds of them here. So I wanted to stay in biotech. I had a base salary in mind that I wanted. I wanted some equity, and I wanted to work with either a CEO or a CSO, Chief Scientific Officer, because I've supported both of them before, and I really like working with those kind of individuals. And I felt really confident about, the base salary and the other stuff I was looking for because of the information I had gotten, through my time as part of the paid membership. I could probably be a paid member for the next 100 years and never go over the amount that I was able to raise my base salary from my previous role to my current role. I'd probably never spend that amount of money in 100 years and being a paid member. So I think, I like data, and having that data really made me feel confident that this was what I wanted. I could get it. I'm in Boston. It's a big biotech market. Yes, we do get paid more here than, if I was looking for this in, let's say, Cincinnati. And so the recruiter was like, well, I don't have anything like that right now. I was like, that's okay. I'll wait. But I felt really comfortable saying that because I knew something would eventually come up.
Right.
And it did. And it took a couple months, and there were some fits and starts, but my current role is it's great. And I really like it. And it's been better than I expected. And I expected it to be really, really good. So it's been really good. But I know I would not have taken that path. I probably would have looked for another role, but I wouldn't have taken the path of being so picky without the knowledge I had from being part of the Leader Assistant paid membership.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know you really liked the people you worked with, and you were really having a hard time making that decision. And yeah,
it was agonizing.
Yeah.
It was so difficult. I'm not sorry I did it, but it was really, yeah. And you listening to me sort of work it all out over a couple calls was very, very helpful. Yeah, I'm not sorry. And I'm still in touch with them. I still get together with them, but it was a really difficult decision. It was.
Well, I'm glad that it worked out, and that you've got more engaging, exciting opportunity, but also a lot more pay because you deserve it, and you're definitely worth the higher salary. And I'm just glad that you landed somewhere that,
it's
what you deserve.
Yeah, it's amazing on all fronts. It's fantastic. It's a great place to work with a lot of great coworkers. My executive's amazing. The other executives I interact with are great. It's phenomenal.
Awesome. So would you have seen, or could you have seen yourself being interviewed on a podcast for assistance before you became a member?
No, no, because I would have thought, what is it that I have to talk about that would be of interest to anybody? So no, that definitely not. No.
Well, we are glad that you've grown in your confidence and put yourself out there in more ways than just being on the podcast. But I'm definitely thankful for you taking time out of your day to chat with us. I'm going to ask the final question, which is, what makes an assistant a leader?
I would say just, being that person for your executive or your department or whoever you support, that they know has their back, that they can trust implicitly. You make it look like it's all magic, but it's, you're leaving them time to focus on what they need to focus on. So for my executive, I want him to have time to focus on the science. We're a drug discovery company, and that's his passion. He's a physician scientist, and he's amazing. And I want him to have time to focus on that, to not think, oh, I have to get on the, I need to talk to this person and I need to schedule this meeting, and I can do all that. And I think that's how we as assistants are leaders. We're managing conflicting and multiple priorities and demands on our executives' time, and leaving them free to focus on what they need to focus on makes us leaders.
Well said, Erin. Well said. Thank you so much for sharing again. If people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to do that, to say hi and connect?
LinkedIn is the best way to do that. I'm not really much on other social media. So LinkedIn's the best way, and feel free to connect. I always love to connect and meet new people.
Awesome. Well, I'll put your LinkedIn URL in the show notes, which, speaking of, if you're listening and you want to check out the show notes, reach out to Erin and say hi. You can find the show notes at leaderassistant.com/155. That's leaderassistant.com/155. And yeah, thanks again, Erin, for being on the show. We definitely look forward to seeing you at our members only sessions coming up and in the community as always. If you're listening and you want to join the community and find out all about what Erin is talking about and what's helped her in her professional and personal growth over the last year or two, leaderassistant.com/community to join the free version. Or if you're ready to jump in and get all of the group coaching and discounts and replays of over, I think we're at like 25 or 30 video sessions recorded in the membership right now, and it's continuing to grow. Go to leaderassistant.com/membership to subscribe to the membership. So thanks again, Erin, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for having me, Jeremy. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening, and thanks again to Erin for a great conversation. Check out the show notes at leaderassistant.com/155, and we hope you join our premium Leader Assistant membership at leaderassistant.com/membership.
Please review on Apple Podcasts. GoBulls.com